That is one of the intros. We're going to play the other intro. NXT just went off the air. There's a lot of things to talk about. They're setting up for Deadline. There's a lot of tag team action going on. And we had a female main event with Fatal Influences. Fallon Henley going against Kelani Jordan. Was she able to get the championship? Who knows? We're going to talk about it all after the intro. You know, I have to say one, Sabrina, Estella, I think out of all UPR, we have the best intro. Our music is cool and groovy. We're happy, and you know you're going to have a great show because you see our two lovely faces. But, you know, I mean, in case you guys didn't know, I'm the Great Grand Slam Pooba, and I'm joined with, as always on Tuesday, Sabrina Estella. Sabrina Estella, how the heck are you?
I'm fine. I'm good. NXT was good. My weekend was good. Went to a show that had legendary WWE Hall of Famer Mick Foley included in one of the matches. And somebody was actually kind enough to hand me this present at the end of the show.
Mr. Sacco. And, you know, I remember Sacco from years ago. I don't remember him having a goatee, so good for him. Is there a little bit of blood in his mouth? It looks like blood. Okay. So Mr. Sacco has been going through it pretty rough throughout the years because he should totally get that checked out.
Basically.
Yes, that don't look very... If I saw Mr. Sacco now, I would feel bad because I would sit here and say, what is happening to you, Mr. Sacco? But I agree. NXT was a pretty solid show tonight. They were setting up for a Deadline. But, you know, one of the things I did like that they were focusing on was the tag teams. NXT has been really known a lot these past, I don't know, few months, weeks, whatever, how you want to word it. It's for their amazing women's division. So it was nice that they were putting spotlights on some of the tag teams. We had Hank and Tank. We had Gallus. That's your favorite, right? Gallus? You're a big fan of Gallus, right? Okay, there we go. I forget the other teams that were there. We had the Family. We had OTM. So that's cool.
Yeah, Tyreek and his partner. I forget his name too.
But they had a segment because Ava wanted to talk to them. We got in the chat. We have George. George, I know you put some stuff earlier, but I don't know why my computer always does a thing where they delete your earlier ones. But George puts in the chat. He says, Cora Jade loses to Ruca was the right move. We're going to talk about that. We have Charmaine in the chat. Hi, Charmaine. It's always great to see you, darling. And we have Jeffrey. Jeffrey, I want you to know, before the show started, I was talking to one Sabrina Estella, and I said, you know, it is your birthday, and I want everyone to hear me sing you happy birthday. So in the chat, I want everyone in the chat to say happy birthday to one Jeffrey Reimer. We're going to start it off. Join me if you wish, Sabrina. I'm going to kick it off as I drink my hot cocoa to get my vocals ready, because that's what I learned from Beyonce. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Anytime, Sabrina. Happy birthday, dear Jeffrey. I almost mixed it up with George. Happy birthday to you. We hope that your birthday was great, Jeffrey. Thank you for always supporting everything for one UPR and everything. You're a great guy. We appreciate you. Everyone in the chat says happy birthday to him, please. So let's start off with NXT. I got my notes because I take notes the old-fashioned way I write it, as everyone knows. But we kicked off the show with Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson going against Giulia and Stephanie Vaquer. If anyone knows what happened last week, Jakara and Lash got in the face of the New Girls. The New Girls wasn't liking that. They said, nah, we ain't backing down from nothing. So that sets up for this week. Wasn't a whole lot of notes here that I took about for this match. I just said Lash Legend used her power. She showcased what she could do. They did this spot that they did at Crown Jewel where Lash would carry Jakara and Jakara would jump off her shoulders, hit across body outside. Giulia and Vaquer was having their way with them. And then at the end, when they were able to isolate Jakara from Lash, I don't know what happened. Lash at this was knocked out of the ring at this point because they had to double team her a lot to get her down. They hit what I call the V trigger, like the double knee thing, and they were able to pin. They pinned Jakara. After the match, they asked, well, what's going to happen when you gals are in the Iron Survivor if you guys are in there? Giulia said she knew this day would come. And then you also had Stephanie said, see you at deadline. I might be missing out some things here about this match, but Sabrina, Estella, what did you think about this match?
I enjoyed it. I had no problem with it. The right team won, so to speak, to prove that they're not just hype, that they actually have the bite to match the bark, so to speak. Ooh. And I mean, it went the way I expected it to. I expected them to double team on Lash a lot because she is the bigger one of the two of them in the metaphor. So you have to try to take her down. It's basically like watching the Royal Rumble with everybody going to attack Nia Jax all at once because they can't beat her by them just one person. They all got to do it. But match was good. I had no problem with it. I like how NXT's been starting lately. They've been starting with the women and finishing with the women.
That's a great point there. Something I realized I didn't count, but I want to say there was like 3-4 women matches on there. So they've been giving these women a lot of TV time, which I am for. Yeah. So good stuff here. Let's get into the chat. We got good Chris in the chat. He says Cora Jade should have won, so he's a big Cora fan. We got Jeffrey with the laughter. Happy birthday to Jeffrey Reimer. Good Chris says happy birthday. Birthday song from the NXT crew. We got the executive consultant in the chat. It's great to see him. He does the Monday Night Review show with, I want to say Freckles Francais. I just renamed this guy. I totally fucking renamed this guy. I am so sorry, Freckles. And Venomous Benny. They were on yesterday. Good job. Chris, no. Okay, so George, he has something to say here. He says, Chris, no, Cora shouldn't have won. It wouldn't make no sense for her to challenge Roxanne Perez. Charmaine says, happy birthday to Jeffrey. He said it was Jesse, but he says, thank you, everyone. And we hope that you had a lot of cake and that you enjoyed your birthday, sir. Cora's Jade, her shoulder was up. Okay, good. Chris was paying attention, so apparently he has some ref skills, and he could tell that this ref should get fired because he wasn't paying attention to Cora. I'm scared next week could be the end of Chase U. I love all this. Look at this guy. He must be new here. Let me read this out loud. I'm scared next week could be the end of Chase U, and I don't want my emotions to just be shouted all over the place, like my favorite faction ending close to each other in time. I loved all of that, and I can't wait to talk about it. It's going to happen next week, the end of Chase U. It's the final nail in the coffin. I love all of this, guys. You don't know how excited I am. Chase U, everyone knows how I feel about Chase U, but I'm sorry, I can't even pronounce his name. I don't want to mess it up. I do want to say thank you for being in the chat, but Chase U is going down just like, I don't know. I can't think of a reference right now. Sorry. We got Bad Chris in the chat. He says Miss Jackson Harris was looking scrumptious. How long did you have that one in your back pocket? Nasty. We got Thanks Charmaine. We got this guy again. Chase U, New Day. I can't let positivity end with them gone. Oh yeah, no. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guy. These factions are going to be breaking up. We got Chris. No, it wasn't. I didn't see it. We got Jeffrey point out Jakara had to get pinned. Sadly, her hair was looking nice. She has short hair tonight, and we got good Chris who says Giulia and Stephanie are going to be in the Iron Survivor. Oh, I think we got some more here. We're gonna get to the chat. Oh, he says just call him FD. FD, by the way. We'll just call him FD. It's good to have you in the chat, FD. Let's see if we can get to the next thing. I want to make sure I have the right notebook because I'm scattered all over the place. Next thing we had was Ruca versus Jade. I'm gonna give you the floor first here, Sabrina Stella. What did you think about this Iron Survivor qualifier match between these two gals?
Well, I thought they did really, really well. I enjoyed this match. I enjoyed both these ladies. So whoever wound up winning, I would have had zero problem with. I didn't think they were going to give it to Ruca only because of how much more time Cora had been getting, like as far as like being on TV and matches and stuff since she's been back. I just hope she don't get injured yet again. But match was good. So Ruca winning was fine by me. But hey, it would have felt like Carmella versus Zelina during the Queen of the Ring tournaments with them going at each other, even though they're best friends.
On the Big Pop, I asked Sawyer, like, who do you see being in this match? And she mentioned Ruca. Now, honestly, when I saw these two going at it, Ruca and Cora Jade, I had Cora Jade going over. I didn't have her winning the Iron Survivor, but I said, they'll probably have her win this match at least. Nope. As a matter of fact, something that I was informed here was that since she has been back, she's been losing. She's been losing a lot. I don't think she's won any match since she's been back, so that's not a great start here. But Ruca being in the match, I think it's a good pick, and I think she's going to shine in that match.
Technically, two of those three matches, she wasn't pinned.
This
was her best friend.
This is true. This is a valid point. Good observation. One, Sabrina Estella. Okay, let's get to another segment, then we'll get into the chat. We want to say thank you guys for joining the chat. Please like and subscribe and do all those things. Do internet things, except those other things that people do on the internet. That's nasty. But let's talk about Carmen Petrovich. I hope I'm saying her name right. She's with Dion.
Yes.
She's with Dion Lennox. And
yes.
Oh, you want to take over on this one?
Yes.
I see the joy.
Carmen. So Dion's asking you what your favorite color is. And you say, oh, it's yellow. But then Ashanti the Adonis wore a yellow beanie, which distracted me. So it annoyed me. So now it's not my favorite color anymore. And then she keeps going on about him. And then she's like, what's the question again? And he's like, your favorite color. I'm like, oh, it's red. And then Ashanti comes in and he sees her and he's like, really, this is what you're doing now? And Brinley comes in and she's like, I have had enough of all this shenanigans and buffoonery. This is all happening because y'all two keep coming in during each other's matches. So y'all need to work together to get along and figure whatever the hell is going on out. And then she asks, Dion, are you busy next week? Because I'm free. And he says, I'm free. So they're going to set up a mixed match for NXT down there. So it is look at those two to shut the hell up and to stop acting like the one high school couple that keeps breaking up and getting back together, and when they're broken up, they keep talking about each other, even though they claim they're over each other.
Tell me
the vibes that are wrong. Tell me.
No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Well, I could say wrong, but I would be wrong. But no, you really nailed it on the head. I mean, call yourself a hammer because you nailed it. See what I did there? That was great, guys. That's 5 points for me, please. I actually love this. Love what this is. Where this is. I see George. You saying, "Where's this going?" I can't tell you. I mean, for me, I see where this is going. Is Carmen and Ashanti? They're gonna be hooking up. But I like this little storyline. It's just fun. It's hilarious. Matter of fact, Ashanti cracks me up because he said, "Yo, you really with my best friend and Liam." I mean, not Liam. Dion.
Best friends. Once upon a time, since the day you came in, you've been on my case just because the girls like me, because I'm actually nice to them and they don't try to flirt with everything that has a pulse.
I was gonna say, didn't he pick a fight with Dion, because he was reading a book.
Yes. Because he was reading a book, girls were asking him questions about it, and he thought he was just playing a game. Not every guy that reads is playing a game.
Everyone's not leaving the game. Let's get to some of the chats real quick. George says BadGuy Jack is going to have a heart attack when Andre Chase beat Rich Holland next week. That's not going to happen, George. Andre right now, he's about to be left at the cleaners. And I'm talking about Saturday into Sunday because the cleaners are closed on Sunday. So absolutely. Andre Chase is not losing it. Yes, he is. What are we, like 5? Please. Jake Paul is going to lose this Friday, right? There's a what's it? Jake Paul against Mike Tyson fight. That's on Netflix. I'm interested in watching it.
It's happening this month. I completely.
It is this week. It's this Friday.
I hope that Mike Tyson beats the ever-living crap out of that boy. I don't like him, and I don't like his brother.
I'll be honest. I have not seen a Jake Paul fight, but I've heard he's legit. Now, Mike Tyson's a whole beast, regardless of his age, because some people will say, well, he's 57. All I'm saying is if I see Mike Tyson, I'm crossing the street. I have no shame saying that about that guy. That's why she took the L. So Chris in the chat, Bad Chris in the chat said Cora Jade is leaving. That's why she took the L. And Bad Chris in the chat says same with Metaphor. We got George who says, Chris Harris, are you certain? And then we got Good Chris. He says Cora Jade is 0-3 since returning from her torn ACL. We got Bad Chris in the chat who says, of course I am. I am Bad Chris is what he says. What else we got here? We got Where Is This Going? George says, this is like a high school television show. You might as well call this Degrassi. We got Beautiful Sabrina, Estella, a.k.a. Russell Doll, and Handsome, the Great Grand Slam Pooba. I like this Good Chris guy. Get this guy a shirt because this guy gets it. We got Jeffrey says, Carmen doesn't need Ashanti. Yes, she does.
No, she don't.
Please.
No, she don't. But the thing is, she's going to keep going on and on about the guy and then claim like, oh, I don't want him. I don't like him, blah, blah, blah. And then people are going to be like, then why won't you shut up about him? You do like him.
You know, and I hear you. You're saying some things. And, you know, quite honestly, no. Dion and Brindley are going to win. We got Good Chris who says, yeah, he is winning. We got George who said Mike Tyson is going to dominate Jake Paul. We got Bad Chris who says big Logan fan.
Of course he is. He's a fan of an egomaniac.
If you have a face tattoo and your name is Mike Tyson, you're losing.
Really? To a skinny twig named Jake Paul? Hell no.
Jake is actually pretty
as people that have a verified check next to their name, but only because they bought it. He could be about as legit as that.
Okay. There we go. Chris says, yeah, she does. We got Bad Chris who says, I like Ashanti. He goes to my gym, and I like the other guy. He goes to my 7-Eleven. There we go. It's nice to know. Y'all have a 7-Eleven down there?
Yes, we have plenty of 7-Elevens down here.
He never took me to one. You know what, Chris? You know what EC does? He just keeps me in a hotel, and I burn to death because the sun. That's what he does. He leaves me in a hotel. I can't wait to come back down there, though. I look forward to coming down there for tacos. What do we have here next? Oh, we got Wesley against Cedric Alexander. And for the life of me, I almost said Cedric the Entertainer. And now I want to see that so badly. Wesley against Cedric the Entertainer. And he got to come out with, there's a show that he does. I think it's called The Neighborhood. I forget. Trisha Arnold. He would have to come out with her. That would be great. But I thought this was the match of the night, honestly. These guys went out there and killed it. There was a spot later in the match where Wesley, he does his finish, the cardiac kick. Now, I thought last week when he hit it on Javon and he kicked out, I don't think that audience knew that was his finish, but the crowd in NXT did because they popped one.
No, wait. I'm sorry.
Uh-oh.
But he won with W's after Cedric hit his face on the exposed turnbuckle. He kicked out of the cardiac kick when Wesley delivered it.
Absolutely. That's what I was trying to get to. When he kicked out, because when he kicked out, I was trying to say that audience really like popped for it compared to in Philly where they probably sat there and didn't realize that was a finish. But I thought these guys went out there. They had a pretty solid match. Wesley goes over Cedric, and it's good stuff. Now, I felt like a few things. So I'm going to go back to the thing where we talk about Carmen, and I wanted to highlight something, but I didn't want to pick. I had a picture here. Wesley, he gets the win. Now, this was such a disrespectful pin. I'm sorry. That is very disrespectful. I mean, my boy Cedric deserved better. He didn't deserve to have all of West in his face like that. Unacceptable. But I also want to throw out, I always look forward to seeing Cedric out there. And one of the things I like about him being in NXT is that I get to see him more in the ring. Now, there was this one spot, too. And I think it comes from, because he put on some mask. So he did a flip over the rope, but it looked like he didn't get all of it. And that was the only little blemish.
He didn't get all of it. Like Wesley was a little too far back for it. So when he landed, it like he kind of hit the ground more as opposed to hitting Wes more, even though Wes was selling that he got hit.
Good point. Good eye, Sabrina. And just to talk about Carmen, I saw this online. I don't even know if I should highlight because I'm scared if it's not even a real thing, but it looks like it's a real thing. But they're saying Carmen's going to be in
GCW.
Yeah, Bloodsport. I don't know. I don't know what number this is. You know what number this is?
12.
X11. I'm glad one of us paid attention in school because I would have just said X and 2 L's. Good job, Sabrina Estella. But Carmen, she's going to go against Sakura. That's going to be Sunday, November 24th. I was close once, Sabrina Estella. But I appreciate, because anytime I'm drowning, you do throw in the little lifeguard thing so I don't, because I can't swim for shit. So thank you for that save. But yes, they're going to be facing each other in Jersey City, New Jersey, 7 p.m. So if you're out in Jersey, if you're out there in Jersey, I think that's how they say it, then yeah. Good job, Jeffrey. He knew the number 2 as well. He said it was 12. So apparently I was the only one who had no idea what freaking number that was.
Well, with Roman numerals, the X is 10 and then the ones are 1.
When I was in school and when they went after 3 and I would put like the 4 lines and do that, they said that's wrong. I said, you're wrong. I never lived that down. We have Ava. She's talking with the NXT tag teams. You have Hank and Tank, OTM, Gallus, the family. And there was another team. I'm not familiar. I'm sure I've seen this team.
Tyson DuPont and Tyrick Ewing.
This is why we're like,
technically.
Honestly, this is why we're the UPR. So Ava's in here saying she wants them to show her something. I guess to see who's going to be the next number 1 contender. We got EC in the chat. He says, I'm pulling for OTM. OTM, they had that one match. I think it was with the family. Sorry, I had Alfredo. That's why I'm having hiccups. Alfredo was great. But they had that match with the family. Oh my God, that's great. See, this is that's what I'm talking about. This is why we are the tag team champions of UPR. The only thing missing is you having some hot cocoa. I don't know if you like hot cocoa, but I got some hot cocoa.
I like hot cocoa. It's just not cold enough for it.
I got this hot cocoa from Artie's, and it's, I don't know, it's not that good, but it's okay. Kind of gets the job done. But what we got? We got OTM is getting television time from George. Ava, Jeffrey says Ava wants ruthless aggression. What team are you looking forward to pull out of this? I mean, it's not a tournament, but what team are you sitting there going like, they should go for the tag team titles?
Of the ones that were there?
Sure.
None of the ones that were there really like caught my eye too much as far as like who should challenge Fraxium for it. I was just thinking, where's Malik Blade and Idris Enofe in this?
Oh my God, equation? Yes. But isn't I think Idris is hurt.
The other team, but I just missed them. And house shows, we can't see them at house shows when they go traveling throughout Florida. We can't see that.
Isn't Idris hurt though? I think he's hurt. I would have
If he
loved.
is,
I
then
do,
I wish him a speedy recovery. But I just
but
want
I
to
do.
also say, because last week I mentioned that Killer Kelly was pregnant with child, and that's why her and Masha had dropped the belts in TNA. And Jeffrey had said no, she already had her kid. She had
Yeah.
it the day after our episode aired, so her baby was born on the 6th this month. So her baby is 6 days old now.
I remember when I was 6 days old. I ain't like any of it, but that's my 2 cents. But congratulations to Killer Kelly. I mean, we have another segment here. We have Tony D. He's at his restaurant, and Spears and Jensen come
John
in.
Spears,
Yeah.
portable homeless looking person in Brooks Jensen. Look, until he tames that ridiculous head of hair of his and beard combo, I'm gonna call him looking homeless. Even Sami Zayn looks better, and he's looked like that for a minute.
What is it that gives the this look that you said, this homeless look?
It's like it's like round and stuff, and the beard is all together, but the hair looks unkept. It looks like it's messy, like he just got out of bed and saw his hair in the mirror and was like, I'm not gonna do anything with it, and just went out. That's what he looked like. It's like bed hair, but not the good kind of bed hair.
Not too many people could pull that one off. But I mean, really, out of this segment, what I get out of it is that you're going to have Sean. No, not Sean. I'm sorry, Jensen. He's going to be going against Tony. Did they say for next week? I'm sorry, I didn't even put that down. But he's going to be facing Tony D. So I'm not sure if that's for next week, but he's sending him out there. But I do want to ask you guys this, and I was glad that I wasn't the only one who thought this, because I saw this on Twitter. And when I saw this, because there was a guy, I'm going to show you guys. We have this guy right here. And I said, maybe I should know who he is, because I have no idea who he is. But I saw everyone on Twitter saying, who's that? So we have this guy. I guess he's going to be implemented in the story. So I'm just going to call him Uber Driver 1 for now until he reveal his name, because I have no idea who he is. So we say Uber 1. Okay, so Jeffrey's saying the same thing. Yeah, who is that? I have no idea. I've never seen this man a day in my life. And they have him on it like we're supposed to just know him. Like, no name, nothing. He just, what does he do? Does he push carts? Do he beat people up? Is he a vegan? I know nothing about this man. I would like to know stuff about him. A biography, a Wikipedia. Notes, please. Help me. The next segment we got here is Kelani. Kelani said because she's going for the Women's North American Championship, and she realized that the number game is just too great, but she said it's on site because JC and Jasmine Nix was like, yeah, if by some chance Fallon don't get the job done, we'll make sure that happens. Loved all of that. You know what I loved about this, Sabrina Stella? I think you already know where I'm going to go with this. You know, a few weeks ago, Kelani, she brought some people who don't even work for NXT to jump Fatal Influence. So I love that karma kicked in here. But I'll save my thoughts for the main event later. Let's talk about one, Trick Williams. He comes out, he talks about Ridge Holland. He talks about last week getting rolled up and pinned. And he's not done from last week. So he's sitting there saying he wants Ridge now. And then I heard Andre Chase. I heard him talk, and I immediately said, I groaned. I'm going to demonstrate what I did. I said, oh. I immediately got upset. I said, aren't you in the hospital? Like, how do you just leave the hospital? Like, what do you? Shouldn't you be, like, eating oatmeal or chewed food? I don't know what people do in the hospital. But I'm just saying, do something else. But he comes out there, and now he's obsessed with, you know, Ridge Holland, because Ridge Holland kicked his ass at Halloween Havoc, and now he wants more of that ass kicking and whatnot. I don't know what Andre Chase is into, but it's kind of weird and whatnot. He talks about he talks about one Ridge Holland Trick puts over Andre Chase. He puts over Chase U, saying all the hard work that you have done. Meanwhile, he's ignoring the fact that this man have used people. But I digress. No one seems to care what I have to say. But then Ridge Holland, good Ridge for the people. Yeah, he comes out here. He's booed by the people in the NXT arena. But I'm just with the exception of you, people in Florida are just rude. So I just came to that conclusion when he was getting booed. And then he reminded Andre Chase about him being in an ambulance. And I laughed. I said, that Ridge Holland, he's a comedian too? I said, as he mentioned that. And then Andre Chase said Andre Chase things. He wanted a rematch with Ridge. Ridge said, I don't want no fucking rematch with you. I beat you. I don't want no goddamn rematch with you. He said no. And then Andre Chase said, tell you what, me and you, if you beat me, you can have Chase U. Like, that thing is worth a damn. And Ridge saw right through it. He said, I don't want to have anything to do with that. I don't want that. I don't care for that. Trick sees this. He sees that these two want to face each other. And he says, all right, bet. Let's go backstage. Let's talk to Ava one-on-one. You two go at it. And the winner gets a shot at the NXT Championship. To which something triggered Ridge. And he heard relationships. And he said, got it. This is what I want. If I beat you, then Chase University is done. And I'm for it. I am down for it. He is going to put Andre Chase down. It's going to be like the story of Old Yeller, but it's old Andre. He's going to take him to the back, put him out of his misery, and I don't have to see Chase U on my TV ever again. And I look forward to this. And you guys are sitting there telling me I'm wrong. But next week, watch me puff my chest out and tell you guys how wrong you are. Let's go, Ridge. Ridge is for the people. Yes. Thank you, Ridge. Get rid of Andre Chase. I don't have to see that stupid shirt. I don't have to see that stupid section. And I don't have to hear that stupid band Degrassi music at all. Let's freaking go. Sabrina, please take the floor.
I'm just going to say the one thing that Andre Chase is quote-unquote obsessed with when it comes to Ridge, it is getting revenge and comeuppance for everything that happened to Duke Hudson, to Riley Osborne, to what could have happened to Thea Hale, and to the possible impending destruction that is to Chase U. But other than that, segment was fine. I really don't have too much to say. I was just thinking, why is it turning into a loser leaves town, basically, if Andre Chase loses? But it's whatever.
Can I just throw something else out here, too? Andre Chase, he's so addicted to gambling that even his crew said here and said, like, you did this before. You remember when you gambled before and you lost everything? And he's gambling again. And there's no JC to save this guy at all. You know, Andre, with his out-of-control drinking and gambling, I just look forward to just seeing Chase University go down for the count, and I'm so happy. I don't know. I'm gonna get a banner back here, and it's gonna say Chase U is done. Matter of fact, I feel like doing that right now on live thing. What else do we got here so I can put this thing on?
So we had Josh Briggs, since he was in the room during the meeting, at least for a little bit before he walked out, to find a tag partner, since his former tag partner has a case of Stockholm Syndrome with Sean Spears, and he brings in someone that he worked with in New Japan, Yoshiki Inamura. If I pronounced that wrong, I do not speak Japanese, so no one come at me. And Inamura talks about what an honor it is to be on excursion here at NXT, and he can't really get much out because Eddie comes in and he's upset about being blown off multiple times. But Ava does tell him, you're booked for an Iron Survivor Challenge match, and he's happy. And I was just thinking, you couldn't have waited a little bit until she told you some news that would have made you happy? I get it. You're feeling frustrated she's not listening, but she's got a lot on her plate.
If I can add, I'm going to have a lot on my plate on Thanksgiving. I mean, I know it's not a competition, but I just feel like saying that. You have before we move on to the next segment here, I see. Huh? We got Bad Chris in the chat. He says stupid cement. We got Jeffrey. He says, what a nice jacket Trick had. It was a vest, wasn't it? I thought it was more of a vest. Andre Chase hater. That's what you think. This guy, I would never have anything with this guy. The way this guy is, I'm bankrupt every time I see him. That's old news, Jack. Old news. Well, it's news to be repeated, Jeffrey, because some people just don't hear me, and I got to make sure that I'm being heard. And again, bad guys don't have a hunch.
But JC Jane did the same thing, and you're forgetting about that too. You're having selective memory right now with that.
Did you just point at me and say something to me, Miss Sabrina Estella? Was that towards me?
Maybe I did not. You were talking about Andre Chase using people and saying that's wrong, but when JC Jane uses Chase U to make herself relevant again, that's fine.
I don't know what you're talking about. You know what, Sabrina? I knew this day would come because every woman in my life has betrayed me. Just ask my mother. I just knew one day you would do this and try to get me worked up. What are you talking about here? JC went to this school, and this school was falling apart. I think there was something where a piece of wood fell, and she saved it because of her. Did anyone buy a calendar with Andre Chase? No, they didn't. So I don't know what you're talking about. Like this guy. Look at this guy, Zeta Silent, the guy who hosts SmackDown on Saturday and kills it there. And he says, "Hi." Look, he must have fell on his keyboard. Look how many eyes is that? Last time I checked, when you spell hi, it's H-I. But he must have fell on his keyboard, or maybe he spilled some juice. Who knows? Future female warden Sabrina Estella. And look at all those A's. I can only imagine how he says it too, because he says, "Allah." I always think he's drowning or something like that. But it's always great to see you on Z to Silent. Thank you for being in the chat. I thought he didn't care about any part of Chase U, but he wants them to be dismembered or disbanded. Good. George says, oh, BadGuy Jackson on the Rich Holland bandwagon. Yep. And I drive it too. Degrassi is great. Oh, no, I have a lot of respect for Degrassi. I honestly
seasons in the middle were great for me. But as they started progressing in the more recent years, it just wasn't for me.
You remember that time they just killed JT? You remember him? JT? Yeah, they killed that guy. They got rid of him. They killed him. Stabbed him. I said, damn, that's terrible. I said, Canada's freaking dangerous. Ava's the best NXT GM ever. I don't know. I mean, she kind of doesn't do her job. Eddie's definitely going to turn heel. Speak on it, Sabrina. See, now you got these people thinking that you said some things here. You know, and you look at this. Makes a point about it.
They've talked about this before. That's all I'm going to say. And I'm not betraying you. I'm just making a point. That is all.
This is unacceptable.
Speaking of women that can make a point, we had Nikkita Lyons going up against Adriana Rizzo, which was basically like a squash match, at least how it felt for Nikkita, because she wants to be the aggressor, wants to attack everybody since she's tired of being attacked anonymously. And I'm just thinking, you do realize that turning into the very thing that happened to you doesn't make you better than the person that did it to you, right? Just because you joined, just because you helped out Obafemi by attacking Adriana Rizzo, because he can't put his hands on her unless it's a mixed match challenge. And even then, those rules you tread lightly. And you feel all upset of what happened to you over a year ago. You go and take it out on someone who had nothing to do with it. You still won. Congratulations to you with the Vader bomb. But after that, you get attacked the same way that it happened to you before because you said it wasn't going to happen. You said it was over. She said, now it's over, sweetheart.
No, she laid in with that crowbar. She laid her out. No, definitely laid her out with the crowbar. I said, damn. I mean, and she really whirled that in her face. I don't think this is over. I'm pretty sure they're going to run it back at some point. I can even see some kind of stipulation in the match, but it was fine. It was fine. Nikkita needed the win. I want to say, I think she needed the win more than Rizzo, and she looked strong. It makes me wonder now if I gotta see what this, because you know, we're gonna talk about Jada Parker here, and I want to say to Jeffrey because I saw his tweet I think it sounds weird saying your ex. I don't know what that means, but your tweet, and you was talking about you could see Jada Parker being someone to win the Iron Survivor. She had a promo, and I thought she did a fantastic job. I mean, one thing about Jada Parker, she gonna talk, and she's gonna deliver in her promo. So she pretty much talked about congratulating Ruca for being the first person in, but she said I'm gonna be in there, and doesn't matter who the other girls are. I'm gonna go over. We said bank on it. I want to say bank on it or something like that. I forget how she said. Oh, clock it. So she's letting everyone know what her intentions are, her future intentions are, and that's to be in and winning the Iron Survivor match. He also mentioned talking about Jeffrey. She's becoming my favorite in NXT. I'm pulling for her. She's been killing it. I mean that match that she had last week with Lola Vice.
Adriana.
Oh, okay. You talk about Adrian. She's good. She's fine. You know, someone shared something on Twitter, and it said her outfit that she was wearing. They said it was like a tribute to Carmella. I didn't notice that. Notice that, but someone else did. So we got that. We got George. He says if Zarya faces Jada Parker, then Jada Parker. Honestly, I think that in this match, okay, it was Jada. No, he was saying that was about Jada.
Clarify because you were something about Rizzo. So,
oh, good. I think in this match because Zarya, she's a favorite to win if she's in it. But then I'm sitting there thinking,
kill the ever living hell out of Jada Parker, and Jada Parker cannot use any weapons. So, even if she is stronger, she's a little bigger, and has a little more muscle than some of the more slimmer girls. You still have to worry about Zarya if that is the one that you wind up getting put into the qualifying match for the Iron Woman Survivors match.
Honestly, and Zarya been on such a tear. I mean, her first match, she killed Brentley Reese. Matter of fact, when Brentley Reese showed up, I was like, oh, you're not dead.
Her arm, it was bent out, and she bent it back into place after beating her down.
Imagine getting your ass kicked and someone just like they break your arm but put it back in place because they're not done with you. I don't know why I find that humorous. We have Javon Evans going against Lexis King. This was also a Iron Survivor
series qualifying match.
Yeah. This was fine. This was fine. I don't have anything bad to say about it. Lexis King, he's going through this gimmick or this character change, if you will, where he doesn't want to be his father. So if he does just the slightest thing wrong,
he's actually a nice guy, which I'm always still going to have that inkling of he's going to snap and he's going to turn.
That
match was fine.
I kind of would prefer for him to snap, honestly. This thing, I mean, I have to wait and see how this whole thing is going, but I would.
Father be the one thing he doesn't want to be. He'll really be Brian Pillman Jr. down there. Yeah.
Matter of fact, you know what else too? Did anyone else notice this? So usually his haircut and all that stuff is a little outrageous. It's almost like absurd, but it looks kind of tame today. Tonight.
When you're really confident and cocky, and you don't give no F's about anything, and you're very outlandish in personality, and you want everybody to know, that's kind of how it was. But now he's going through that character change somewhat, so I think they're trying to tone down the hair with that as well.
Sure. But yeah, Javon gets the dub here. I mean, the one spot in this match was, I guess Lexis, he didn't low blow him, but I guess he hit him below the belt, and you could see him stop them. It's too babyface for me. Like, I don't even think a lot of baby faces do this where they do something and they're like trying to help the person up and all this stuff. I don't know. Like, I see that spot. I'm like, what are we doing here? But it was fine. Javon gets the dub, so he's going to be in the match with Wesley. So there's 3 more spots open. Same thing with the women. We have. Wait, dude. I think no. We only have 1 spot. I'm sorry. I mixed that all up. My apologies.
1 because it was 2 men's Iron Survivor match.
Apologies, guys. I mixed that all up. But also with Nathan, but speaking of the Iron Survivor, we have Nathan Frazier and Axiom.
We do have to say, after the match ended, Javon did look down and see how Lexus was kind of upset and freaking out a bit, and almost thinking like, well, nobody has really like reached out and helped him out or anything too much other than William Regal. So he puts his hand out to shake, and Lexus King shakes it and raises Javon's hand up as a show of respect.
There we go.
Vic and Booker T did say that.
Good air, good eye. We got George who said, "Who should Stephanie Vaquer face in the Iron Survivor qualifying match?"
Anybody but Julia, so they can fight in the Iron Survivor match in Minneapolis.
And he's oh, I'm sorry, I meant to click this one, but he was also saying, asking the same question for Giulia.
Anybody but Stephanie.
Anybody but Stephanie. No, absolutely. Because I think those two are definitely going to be in this match. Who would I have them face? I mean, you got a lot of women on this, so it had to be them. I don't know. This is a damn good question because my initial reaction is maybe the girls from Fatal Influence, and then I'm trying to think of other girls too on there. Cora's already knocked out. Roxanne can't be in it because she won. I'm trying to think of anybody else. I can't on top of my head. And Jade is going to be in it, and they didn't say who she's going to face. But yeah, those were the two on top of my head. It would be the Fatal Influence girls. We got Jeffrey who says it's not believable. Jeffrey also said we see right through you, Lexus. And he was waiting for the low blow because that's what Lexus King does, right? He low blow people. We're talking about this Nathan Frazier and Axiom. Yes. And Nathan says, like, yo, I'm in a qualifying match for the Iron Survivor. And Axiom is like, yo, bro, what are you doing? We have tag teams coming after us, and you're doing some.
This happened. I'm thinking to myself, y'all already went through this with the WWE Speed Championship bracket match qualifying thing. And then he got mad at your ass when you went up there to fight and compete for the belt, even though you did not win. And then when Axiom goes up there to do the same damn thing, you got all up in his case, and you were worse because he was doing it too. And it almost feels like I can do this. You can't do it. And then OTM comes in, and the family come in to kind of like counteract them, and then the refs come in to make sure that there's no fight coming in between them. I'm thinking to myself, really, Nathan, you doing this again? How long are we gonna have the will they, won't they split? I know it's just until they find another tag team that's formidable to be the face of the tag team division, which I found it was kind of interesting that now that the women's tag division down there is basically dead for the most part, since they brought those belts up there and basically combine them with the then SmackDown Women's Championship belts, which I will never let go because it was stupid. The men were put on the back burner because of the women. And I'm just like, Nathan, get yourself together and stop doing shenanigans like this. It's going to make Axiom mad. And then when he gets put in the qualifying match, don't you get mad at him because he's doing the same damn thing you are.
I just think these two people need to get away. I just think they need to get away from each other. I think they're very toxic for each other. If one person do this, they're upset. The other person do that. It's almost like, oh, you went to dinner without me? That's a problem. I don't know.
It's like when you're binging a Netflix series, and there are couples that are like this, and you start watching a show together, but say your partner is out at work or running some errands or hanging out with friends, and you keep watching the show without them, and then they come in to find you way more ahead than you were when you were watching it together, and you were like, what are you doing? You're not supposed to be watching this without me? Are you kidding me? That's what.
So they're a Netflix couple. They're a Netflix couple where the other cannot watch the other series without the other. That sounds dangerous, and I think these two people need to get away from each other and just stop. Just stop, because I feel like Axiom. And by the way, I didn't even recognize Axiom without his turtleneck, but I guess the weather is not for turtleneck because he was wearing a hoodie. And I was like, okay, go ahead, Daredevil. I see you. We got Miss Sawyer in the chat. She says Nathan has been getting on my last nerve. In case you couldn't tell, she's yelling because it's in caps.
Almost as much as Dominic got on your nerves when the way he talked to Finn Balor on Monday.
Oh, when Dominic. Oh, when he put Finn in his place. Yeah, I saw that. Axiom was still standing between the chaos. We got this is going to lead to one of them turning on the other. I'm interested in this. Who turns? Who's the heel? Who's the
Dear
face?
WWE creative
Uh
team,
oh.
I have just one thing to say. When it comes to tag teams, and if it's not working out, please stop doing the same, oh, one of them's going to turn on the other thing. It's predictable. It's old. It's boring. We're tired of it. Please come up with something else. For crying out loud, y'all recreated the Marty Jannetty, Shawn Michaels barbershop spot with JC Jane and Gigi Dolan.
It's my favorite.
What
It's
more?
literally top. It's top. Easy top 5 seconds. Honestly, I think that was even better than Shawn. And who's the other guy? I don't even know who we talking about. Yeah, clearly, Shawn Michaels copied off of what JC was doing, and I loved all of it. And I know what I said, and I stand by it. I rewrite history every day of the week. What else do we have? Well, you want to talk about this segment here where I could tell that I'm getting on Sabrina Estella's nerve, and I know I get on everyone's nerve, and I'm for that. George said that he liked Zaria's segment. Zaria's segment was cool. I'll sit here and say this. I call her Zaria Shira McGriffin. It wasn't bad. She shows, the time that she's been here and how she's been dominating people. Pinned Roxanne Perez. Almost killed Brindley Reese. Had the nerve to put hands on JC even though she didn't do anything, but whatever. But yeah, and she's talking about being in that Iron Survivor. And honestly, if she is in the Iron Survivor, that is a favorite to win that match. Because I don't see anybody pinning that girl. I just don't. I think there could be 5 girls on top of her, or 4, and she'll just break out of it, and they'll all go flying into different places of the earth. And Jeffrey pointed this out. She cut Jordan Grace, and good, because she don't work here, but whatever. I said my piece last week. I almost lost my windpipe for this, but honestly, I hope that they go back to that and they do something, because I felt like after the match, and there was someone I was watching the clip of, and you can see Jordan Grace looking at Zaria, almost like, girl, you almost broke me in half. So I hope they run that back at some point. Jeffrey says, don't remind me of that spot with JC and Gigi. It was fantastic. I have that on rewind all the time. We got here, Dom is going to cost Finn Balor and JD the tag team championships. We got King Marty Jannetty. I'm assuming that the crown came from a garbage can, because I just can't see him wearing it. I've seen him one time in real life. He's seemed like someone who just doesn't bother anyone. Julia and Stephanie Vaquer and Zaria in the Women Survivor match would be something. That'd be star-studded, honestly. The camera was focused on Jordan for a reason. Good eye there, Jeffrey. Birthday boy Jeffrey. Let's talk about this last match. I mean, unless it's a segment that I'm missing here.
There
Is
was
it?
a segment. We had Lexis King sitting with Hank and Tank, as well as Dante Chen. They're all pepping him up, telling him that he did good. So basically, he's winning over some of the baby faces over there, which I still fully don't trust him. But we do get Dion Lennox and Ashante walking off while that's happening. And then Gallus comes in to call Hank, Tank, Lexis, and Dante Chen all pathetic. Meanwhile, the tag teams are bickering amongst each other. It's just like, y'all really have nothing better to do since y'all are stuck in catering or coaching backstage. This is the reason why y'all still have your jobs. So y'all need to stir the pot, just because you haven't been relevant on TV since the day you lost them damn titles. And even then, y'all were hardly relevant as the so-called face of the tag team division.
Which tag team was this? Which tag team was this?
Gallus.
Oh, I should have figured. Like, yeah, you're not big on Gallus. Okay.
When was the last time they were even verbally relevant on NXT before having those belts?
You put me on the spot. I don't think I have anything on there. I don't think I have anything. Any other segments before we get to the? Okay, we'll talk about that before the show ends. One George Samuel Lewis. Main event here we have.
Right now. So when I
Hmm?
saw that segment and when I saw it on Instagram, I literally shared it the with a little quote with a little message on it that said, "It's about damn time."
Okay.
Finally, because I've been saying it for ages, they need a mid card title for the women to fight it over up there because all they had was the women's championships and the tag belts, which again they meshed together the ones from NXT, which will forever be stupid. But and I'm happy that the women are getting a belt to fight over. The question people have: who should be the first one to be the inaugural champion? I have a few choices in mind based on videos I'd seen and also stuff I'd seen on WWE. So I will put maybe Naomi if she doesn't win the belt from Nia when she fights her on SmackDown, which will probably be the case. Michin for all the hard work she's been doing since she's been back, and even if she's not the world title ready, she can still be mid card champion ready. And if they book her a little better and a little more serious as far as like matches, maybe she could be like Mercedes Moné with Camille, who makes sure who she has fight everybody to solve them up a bit, and Miss Chelsea Green.
Great picks. Those were the picks I had. We discussed that on the Big Pop. But yeah, no, I would go with those. I mean, Naomi, she needs something. I mean, she has been back with the company since January, and it's almost like she's what do they call it? The bride, never the bride. Something.
Always the bride, never the bride.
There you go.
Hasn't
So
been and she was SmackDown Women's Champion and also SmackDown Tag Team Champion.
So I would go with her as well. Michin, I think she would be a great champion. I mean, I like that they actually gave her something to do. Yep. Huh?
I said Michin would be a fighting defending champion.
Oh, absolutely. I think she could be the workhorse. I could almost see her in that. So when we had when a lot of people would win the Intercontinental Championship, it was like a workhorse belt, and you had guys who were really good in the ring and stuff like that. Your Brett, your Sean's, and name them, Mr. Perfect. And I know those are some big boots that I'm saying there, but I think she would be a great workhorse champion. Now Chelsea Green, I will sit here and go with this. I mean, she can go in the ring, but she's character. She bases most of her stuff on character. And I sit here and say, think about the segments that you would get with her. Like she's already unbearable, right? Character wise. Now she has a championship, and now she's going to just go. She's just gonna be a lot more over. Yeah, absolutely, she's gonna be over the top. So I mean, those are great. But and I think a lot of people, and you said Zelina, but she's Raw. I think a lot of people are trying to figure out if this is going to be on Raw and SmackDown. I think it should just
be for that to be one. Maybe they could have a women's intercontinental championship over there, since they have the United States Women's Championship over there.
That's definitely something that's going to happen. I just think right now they're going to see how this goes. Like they did the test run with NXT with the Women's North American Championship. Now they're doing the SmackDown, and eventually they're going to do that with Raw as time goes on. I don't have a time to. I almost feel like in 2025 we should have a Women's Intercontinental Championship at that point.
Mid to late 2025, like now.
Sure. George says they have the NXT Women's North American Championship, and now they have the women. The Women's United States Championship. I can see the women's. That's definitely something that is going to be happening. Once again, like how we said, 2025, mid 2025. I don't see it. Towards the end of the year, and here I don't see it anytime soon before this year is up. But 2025, it could be Naomi. Oh, Mia. I'm assuming that's Michin, Chelsea, and could you see Chelsea bedazzling the belt in her favor? Yeah, Chelsea, absolutely, 100%.
She has so much fun with her character. She can make stuff like that fun. I mean, literally, if she were to win Money in the Bank, she would literally be Cha-Ching Chelsea. That says Cha-Ching Chelsea in the bank.
There you go. You heard my partner right here. But yeah, I mean, it's good for the women. I heard because no one knows what this is going to be right now. If like it's going to be a tournament battle royal, but if it's a tournament, I could see also too. And one of the good, the great things about we're reviewing an NXT show, but one of the cool things is that NXT have a lot of women, so they can put some women in that tournament just to add, add some faces in there. So have to wait and see how that all turns out. But it's cool stuff. It's cool stuff. Where are we at here? We have
Doing their own thing and showing why NXT has one of the strongest women's rosters in wrestling right now. We have Kelani Jordan against Fallon Henley with Fatal Influence for the NXT Women's North American Championship, which match was good. I didn't really have any complaints. It went the way that I thought it would. I mean, a few little interferences from Jasmine and JC here and there, which watching the matches that Fallon has now as the women's North American champion alongside JC and Jasmine kind of reminds me of Toxic Attraction. The only difference is I like Fallon's work more in-ring wise too, because I feel like she was a better in-ring worker than Mandy. Mandy needed the help. She admitted that. But I just like Fallon's in-ring work more. So I feel like her reign will be a little more interesting in that sense. And I feel like it's going to do shades of that for sure, which will have a lot of help from her Fatal Influence members.
You know, have this ever been done where a woman main evented twice in the main event? Shout out to JC for main eventing another NXT show and having Fallen out there as the avatar to do her bidding. I thought the work in here was good. The women were out there; they were working. Kelani is, I know I give her a hard time, but she really goes out there and busts her ass out there. And I do have to give it up to Fallen out there too. She did some things, and I mean, look, Kelani lost, and you know what that means? Now she can go to the back of the line. So those are my thoughts right there. She can go to the back of the line, and now the next fool to challenge Fatal Influence will fall because we're keeping that title around our waist all 2025, baby. That's what we're doing. You know, George is in here, and he's getting me all worked up here. He said Fatal Influence is the version of Toxic Attraction 2.0. I honestly do not see that. All I see is everyone says that because there's 3 women in a group, and these groups are 2 different things. It's like saying, "Oh, I thought of the NWO and I thought the Horsemen or something like that." I don't. What are we talking about here? We got Bad Chris in the chat. He says, "I see it. I don't know what he sees. Maybe he's just looking at a wall and he saw a bug on his wall. I don't know what's happening there." George says, "Are you saying you can't see me? Is that what you're doing?" I dig it. Kelani, this is a breakout year. JC Jane didn't main event at Stop It Bad Guy. Was she not in the main event, George? George, please. Oh, and then he puts Toxic Attraction. Okay, that's good for you, Mr. Harris. Fallon Henley is going to drop the NXT Women's Championship, but it's not. This show doesn't end with the women. I mean, yes, the women they get their hands raised after a hard fought title match. We didn't even put pictures up. I had all these pictures and we didn't do it. But yes, you know, she walks out. She's still champion. But the tag teams are out here, and it's all hell breaks loose. All the tag teams out here. We have OTM. You have the family. A bunch of other people out there. So they're really trying to hype up this tag team tournament thingy, and I like it. I did like that, and it makes me look forward to seeing where this goes. And thank you, Jeffrey. See, Jeffrey gets it. This is why he's a jackpacker. She technically was in the main event. Have you seen someone be in the main event twice like that before, Jeffrey? I think this has never been done before. I think this is groundbreaking. Good job. But she said, Bad Chris says, show the one where she hits the Alexa. Huh? Oh, the thing with the belt. Yeah, I noticed that too. She did that. I was like, oh, she's doing the Alexa pose. That was really, I was scared because I have an Alexa. I didn't want it to get all worked up. But yeah, she did the pose. I don't have that picture actually. But yeah, no, that was cool. That was I don't know if that was a call shout out, but yeah. But that was NXT. It was a fun show. You guys are fun. You guys make doing this fun, and we say thank you. It's I always like to tell the time. It's 11:10 at night here, and you guys are up talking wrestling with us. So yes, and we got this. He said, "Am I watching the NXT or the Mike Knox show?" I'm assuming that our fearless leader, he must have brain trauma because I can't help but believe this is the NXT show. I mean, are you on the Mike Knox show, Sabrina Estella?
It's not Monday at 6:00.
I know. You know what it is. You know he's probably out there drinking like 2003 Paris Hilton because what are you talking about? What we got here? Nope. Unless you have several clients like Jimmy Hart, Jack. What are you talking about? I don't have too many clients. Where's that coming from? Again, there's no leader fatal. He thinks he's so funny. Here he is. He's just falling on the keyboard and putting words together. Yeah, I need to stop that trend. But with that all said, this is the end of the show. We plug things. Apparently, people think this is the Mike Knox show, but you can catch the Mike Knox show on a Monday. Sabrina, still, you want to tell the lovely people where all the things that we have gathered here. You do a fantastic job throwing it your way.
Well, on Monday nights, we have the Mike Knox show at 6 p.m. for the intelligent wrestling fan. And then you also have the Raw review show on Mondays after Raw with Freckle Sensei and the egotistic consultant. And then you have NXT Tuesdays with myself, Sabrina, Estella, and the Great Grand Slam Puba, the undisputed duo. They lay cool of Unpopular Review. Then you have AEW Dynamite with Cactus Katie, Dan the Man, Venice Vinny on Wednesdays, top 5 prediction and our predictions on Thursdays, and the Friday night SmackDown Penitentiary with Z is Silent and Vic on Saturday afternoons.
What the fuck is this?
Apparently someone that decided to join us decided to put that up for the show.
Wait, someone put that back up there. Put that poster back up there. Please put that poster back up there. You know who you are. You did it. Put the poster back up. I'll do it my damn self. I don't care. Because, why was that randomly there? Why the fuck is, did Freckles become Godzilla? Was he standing over a city? And then there was these two other people in the corner. Where is this picture? That is hilarious. Oh, that was fucking hilarious. That was, oh my. That was poor. That was and what's Frickle looking? Did he look back after his destruction of the city? Because what the fuck was that? Holy shit. Oh, so now you don't want to put the picture up, but you can highlight comments. Fuck this place, man. What are you doing? That looked like who made that? Michael Bay? Was this the next Fast and Furious movie? Or these are 3 guys that's going to take out Dom Toretto? And on our show, he's going to put just a second. Can you at least put the just in capitals, you jerk? Just... Let's end the show. Sabrina, let's take us over because
Well, that was the NXT Tuesday show with myself and the Great Grand Slam Puba, who was dying of laughter over here, as though he was betrayed by laughing gas by the But you may catch my YouTube channel, The Unofficial Camera Woman, where I record wrestling matches throughout Central Florida and occasionally South, and put them up on the internet for the world to see. And you may also catch this one here on his podcast, the Big Pop Theory Podcast, where they discuss all things wrestling and give their opinions on everything. You can catch it on Apple Podcasts, Google, I don't think Google Podcasts anymore, Spotify, and any other sites that they use to put their message out there, as well as YouTube, whenever they have prediction shows and such.
Sabrina and Stella, you did a fantastic job. That's why, real quick, before we end the show, we want to thank you guys in the chat. You are part of the NXT crew with us. You're part of the Undisputed Duo. And we look forward to, because next month is award season, we are going to clean House wants Sabrina Estella because there's no duo that can do it like us. Because we don't have whatever the fuck that was that they put up on the. But we got
one-time thing.
We should plug this thing right here. It says patreon.com unpopular review. Please subscribe to that. We have some really great content and some great things in there, so please subscribe to that.
Follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, and Patreon as shown all around our heads.
I just want to highlight because he came in late, but no, not you, George. No. New H Main says, hi there, guys. Hope your Veterans Day was hope. How was your Veterans Day? That's what he said was yesterday. God, I promise I can read. It was pretty well. It was pretty well. Okay, so we're just I guess we're just gonna end the show here. We'll be back next week. Blah blah blah. I'm sorry, I'm looking for this outro thing. I think I could just hit end stream and it does the thing. But thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys next week. And tune in tomorrow for AEW Dynamite. And also Unpopular Review, the entertainment side, because they have a lot of things going. Get that shit down. Thank you. And you can catch.
So I can't take another shot. I had to. I'm not going to get drunk.
I know. The way he says it, I mean, you would be in an AA meeting or something like that. Anyway, guys, see ya.